Are you tired of the same old pro wrestling? Then check out the amazing action on Powerslam.tv, the biggest indie pro wrestling channel in the world. Get over 4,000 hours of the best pro wrestling events from over 110 of the biggest names in the industry from over 15 countries around the globe. Get your free trial today at Powerslam.tv.
What's up, y'all? It's Jeff Cobb, and you're listening to Ricky and Clive Wrestling Show on Social Suplex Podcast Network.
You're listening to the Ricky and Clive Wrestling Show. Listener discretion is advised at all times.
Hello, and thank you once again for downloading and listening to another episode of the Ricky and Clive Wrestling Show, part of the Social...
Oh, Jesus, let's start again.
Okay. Hello, and thank you once again for downloading and listening to another episode of the Ricky and Clive Wrestling Show, part of the Social Suplex Podcast Network. My name is Clive, and I am joined by my co-host, Ricky. Good evening to you.
Good evening. How are you?
I am not bad. I had a strange dream last night that's wrestling related, so I thought I would keep it till now to tell you.
Okay.
I had a dream that Mustafa Ali started bringing his wife to the ring as part of his gimmick, basically. And I don't know if you've seen the video on Twitter of Ali's wife dancing.
Okay.
Well, she's dancing because it was her birthday and Mustafa was sending out a picture saying happy birthday and stuff like that. So basically, when Ali's wife came to the ring in traditional Pakistani clothes, headdress and stuff like that, she was dancing away and everyone loved it.
I thought this was going to lead to a joke.
No, this actually happened last night.
Fun dream.
It was. Will we start again, or will I just keep going?
I'll just keep going. No, I think people have become accustomed to the fact that we kind of start off with some nonsense and end with some nonsense. So
some awkwardness.
I wouldn't say awkwardness.
Oh well, that went down like a lead balloon, that dream. I thought that would get a...
Because I was genuinely just waiting on the punchline. I thought it was going to be a joke you were going to say.
No. It was facts. So, we will get on to the meat of the show now. We will give our predictions and a preview of the upcoming Elimination Paper. Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, available on the WWE Network for just $9.99, free for new customers. But first...
£9.99 that is, folks.
Aye,
for us over here.
Pounds for us schmucks over here. But first... Ricky, I'd like to have a moment of appreciation for Vincent Kennedy McMahon, who continues to listen to us fans. He heard the cries of many not wanting to add Charlotte into the Becky Lynch versus Ronda Rousey Raw Women's title match at WrestleRama. He's heard all those declarations that Becky is the new Steve Austin. Vince took those worries, those insecurities, all that hyperbole, scrunched it up, shined it up real nice and shoved it straight up our Charlie Haas. Not only has Miss Flair been added to the WrestleMania main event, she's been added in Becky Lynch's stead. All this Becky being screwed over is reminiscent, if not identical, to the whole Austin versus McMahon story that we had back in 20 years ago. Arguably one of the best stories that's ever happened in the history of pro wrestling, and people aren't happy. They've been worked to the point of ridicule.
Yep. I mean, in this instance, I think we all do agree that it is a work, and she being Becky Lynch, is going to find her way back in to the match. But you just know part of it is just Vince sticking the fingers up at people and just trolling people and just having a laugh and a joke at our expense. And you know, I don't dislike Becky. Like, I actually like Becky, but these Austin comparisons and etc. is what kind of drives me a little bit insane. Like Rand says it quite a lot, so I'm just going to steal it. This match, as I said as well last year, was always Charlotte versus Ronda Rousey, and Becky's just going to get added to it.
Uh-huh.
Why wouldn't the best female performer in the company, and a woman who's carried the division for the last 3 or 4 years, not be in potentially the first ever women's main event? It's not like she's just been handed it. Like, it's based on merit. So yeah, I'm just here to see the tears of the Becky stans, and just enjoy it, because to be perfectly honest, I've said to you before, I couldn't care. Like, for me, Charlotte's my favourite, and Charlotte coming into the match doesn't bother me at all, because for me the match quality goes up. So, you know, it is what it is. Like, people are always going to be upset about something, but you just know, like, I would just find it absolutely hilarious if Becky was never actually added to the match and Charlotte beats Ronda clean and closes WrestleMania
in a 5-minute squash,
just to see the uproar and the fake claims of cancelling the network and never watching WWE again. It's just...
Oh, I saw a boycott WrestleMania tweet on Tuesday morning.
I also saw people saying, I've bought tickets to WrestleMania, I'm now going to return them.
Right, see, well, hopefully they're just working us, but what people don't seem to be paying attention to is that this whole thing about Charlotte being the chosen one by top brass, that mindset took a really strong hold once Becky herself hinted at it in the lead up to SummerSlam, where she was looking worried about Charlotte being included in the match when she got into the triple threat for SummerSlam. And then when Becky snapped, her promos centred around Charlotte being handed out silver spoons or meal tickets, and it's Becky that's, obviously she's a mouthpiece, she's telling a story, but it was Becky that started this, and Becky herself even accepted that Charlotte was deserving of the status of a top-tier talent when she picked Charlotte to face Ronda Rousey at Survivor Series, which, if I remember correctly, everyone loved. It's the whole thing about WWE. People think that WWE favour Charlotte. They very well may do, but they've been telling us this since the beginning. It's not as if it's a secret.
And it's not like Charlotte's like average in the ring. Like, she's flawless in everything that she does, as close to as being flawless as you possibly can,
apart from the moonsaults.
But yeah, but I will ask you this, right? What has Charlotte done wrong in the last 6 months? Like, in all seriousness, look at her character right from sort of like a few weeks before SummerSlam to now. At what point can you turn around and say she's been a total bitch and she's not been nice or anything? Like, at what point can you say that she screwed Becky over?
None really. I can't think
because
of any off the top of my
wasn't she
head.
added to the match by Paige? But if she wins the number one, if she beat Carmella, or whoever it was, she'd be on SmackDown, she'd be added to the SummerSlam match.
Uh-huh.
And then she wins clean, and then Becky attacks her, and Becky wins clean, and Becky runs away in Australia. Becky then wins clean.
Charlotte offers her hand as well as a congratulations.
Becky then chooses Charlotte Charlotte is legally as a legal member of the Royal Rumble. Becky lost clean and came down, hijacked it, and yes, ultimately was inserted into it. But at what point has Charlotte done anything wrong? Like, Becky's constantly screaming at her saying, "You're not going to take this from me." Charlotte never took anything from you. If anything, you've taken stuff from her.
Aye, that's true, because she's been, her whole her raison d'etre, whatever you want to call it, these last 6 months, that she's not letting Charlotte get in her way of these opportunities, and she hasn't. Becky has been on top the whole time. The entire
time, bar that one moment in Australia where she retreated. The entire time she has put a beating on Charlotte, and she beat Charlotte on one leg at the Royal Rumble.
I mean, in all seriousness, I've just wished people would keep a calm head with all of this. It's one of those ones, how will the underdog, I wouldn't say she's an underdog, but how will the hero overcome this trial by fire? It's like the third act in this story. It was like Carol that said on Twitter, it would be interesting to see what all these armchair bookers online would like to do with the remaining 7 weeks in the lead up to WrestleMania, with just Becky and Ronda trading shit take promos with each other the whole time. That would get boring quickly.
And do remember, like, Ronda's defending the title in a few days' time, but we're not talking about that because we're still talking about Becky and Ronda, and that's somewhat part of a problem when it comes to, like, the Royal Rumble winner. How do you keep them kind of relevant and in the spotlight, but at the same time you don't want to build towards a Mania match too early. You don't want it to come to a crescendo too soon. You don't want... So adding Charlotte is a nice little wrinkle, and then Becky's obviously going to come back, and I wouldn't bring her back straight away.
I think
I'll give her a few weeks.
I can imagine her interrupting Ric Flair's birthday celebrations. And
when is that?
A couple of weeks.
Is it?
Yeah.
Cool.
So Ric Flair will come out, everyone will sing happy birthday. Becky will come out, put in the armbar and say, "I'll only let go if you don't include me in this match, Charlotte, I'll break your dad's arm," or something like that.
Yeah, hopefully she does break it though. Like, not in the kayfabe sense.
So I've not got much to add to that.
Like, for me, it just comes down to, I've always said that I'm going to take match quality over anything else, and I can understand people, like, Charlotte's not being shoehorned into this. Like, she's been heavily involved in it for a long time, and I think what people kind of need to realise is that, like we said, it was always going to be Charlotte and Ronda, and what we're overlooking as well is that Charlotte's character work these last sort of 3-4 weeks or whatever, certainly the last few weeks, are on a par from a few years ago when she was an absolute monster heel. So that's what we're kind of losing sight of, because the reality is, in the next couple of weeks, Charlotte's going to garner more and more and more boos, more heat, which is then only going to turn in Becky's return into a more emphatic and triumphant return. So I think long term, people just need to kind of take the blinkers off and realise Becky will be back in match. I think, to be honest, the vast majority of people do realise that. And I'm hoping that the match at WrestleMania kind of blows everyone out of the water, blows everything else out of the water, and we can kind of put the rest of that nonsense to bed.
I'm sure it will. I mean, I am in agreement with you that Charlotte's inclusion will bolster the quality of the match. A lot of people don't think that will be the case, but I mean, her track record in terms of matches speak for herself. I mean, our very own Rich wrote a column towards the end of last year talking about Charlotte being a contender for Women Wrestler of the Year with all the matches she'd been putting in. I'm not sure if that was the exact topic that he was talking about, but a lot more recognition should be given for her work in ring.
Yep. And just so you know, Rich, it's all a work. Everything in life and wrestling, it's all a work.
This podcast's a work as well.
Our friendship is a work.
Right, well, we move on to some, what do you call it? Chamber preview and prediction stuff then.
Yep.
Before we do that, though, a couple of plugs. First of all, you've got the Powerslam.tv guys who give you 4,000 hours plus of independent wrestling content straight into your streaming device. If you go to the Powerslam.tv and put in the promo code Social Suplex, you'll get a first free month. So please check that out. And also, I am delighted to announce that our man Jeremy, as well as at Sir Mike Fergus, the designer of said T-shirt, the Ricky and Clive Wrestling Show T-shirt is now available on Pro Wrestling Tees, so there will be a link in the show notes if you want to upgrade your wardrobe.
You only plugged that in now because you forgot about it at the start, didn't you?
I only plugged it now because I put up my Google Doc that has the information about tonight's show.
Have you not got something else you want to plug?
Later, if you text.
I mean, you could plug it now if you want, if you remember it.
I don't, so you can text me and I'll plug it later on and kid on I remember it the whole time.
Or you could just make reference to the certain garment people can purchase.
I just did.
Oh, did you? Sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
Oh my god.
I was looking at my phone.
So who looks like the fool here then?
That would be me. Like, I was just trying to help you out.
Well, you've just... This podcast is a Botchamania episode.
It really is. It's a new low for us.
We apologise, guys and gals. Right, well, the first thing I'd put in the chamber predictions thing was our scores from last month, the Royal Rumble. Ricky is at a nice start with 27 points and I am at 20. So I have got some catching up to do.
But like you said, I only got that because of the Becky Lynch.
I know.
Moan.
I know, because I got more matches, right?
Did that included TakeOver as well, didn't it? Did it? I can't remember.
Yes, it did.
Oh, so I done really bad then.
Right, the first match that I had in this table, turns out it's not actually going to be a match at Chamber, was the Revival versus Chad Gable and Bobby Roode, because that match actually took place last night on Monday night on Raw, and the Revival won.
Oh wait, so they're not running a rematch on Sunday?
As far as I'm aware, there is no announcement of that taking place. Maybe they're going to keep that for Fastlane. Maybe they'll have the SmackDown tag title match at Chamber, and the Revival and Roode and Gable will run it again at Fastlane. I think that makes sense.
Yeah, like, I was kind of worried that Revival win it now just to drop it a few days later.
No, they will not lose those titles for a very, very long time. Years.
Years. Yeah.
The revival of tag team wrestling is in full effect right now.
I'm glad they won the title, though it was long overdue.
It was. I would say that this thing that's been going on, it's been going on before the start of this year, where they've been cheated out of the titles and title shots and stuff like that. So I'm more than happy that it's happened. It just could have happened a bit sooner, in my opinion. But we're here now. Good match as well last night, on Monday, sorry. Woof, lots of mistakes tonight. This is horrendous. Yeah,
it was a good match. Like I said, I'm just glad they win it because it has been long overdue. I feel like it had been built. I don't know if it was building to this, but the kind of story up until Monday was that how they were constantly screwed over and they were being cheated out of wins, etc. So yeah, I'm glad they got it, and I know, like, booking is always going to be an issue for someone or a number of people. Like, I mean, you can't deny, like, you can make legitimate argument that Revival are the best tag team in the world. And I know a lot of people are going to turn around and say, well, look at their main roster run, but that's what I'm saying, like, bad booking can make great wrestlers or tag teams look like the way the Revival looked, but you can't discount what they've done in NXT.
You cannot.
So I'm hopeful that they can put like a long run together. I kind of see it ending maybe at WrestleMania. I personally wouldn't. I'd like maybe. I wouldn't mind them holding on to it maybe until SummerSlam, because with the draft coming up, we might get some fresh matchups there. Maybe somebody like the Usos might end up eventually coming over to Raw, which I don't think so, but it was nice for them to actually see it, and it was a kind of like a conclusion of a long going storyline they had going on.
Uh-huh.
But again, I know a lot of people are going to look at it cynically and say, "Oh well, that report came out a few weeks back how they wanted to leave, and WWE have just kind of panicked and just decided to give them a title to kind of please them."
Well,
but if that was the case, then it's a hell of a coincidence, or it's perfect, or it's so lucky that this continually losing in the way they were for them to ultimately win it. It was to me. It was a storyline.
Before the reports came out as well.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously they had something in the works for them. So that's one of those ones I'll take with a big pinch of salt there.
I think just to sort of go off to a wee bit. I think when you see reports like that, I think you always need to kind of take it with a pinch of salt. Like,
oh aye.
I know. Like sometimes a lot of them do turn out to be true, but a lot of them don't turn out to be true. And I think we kind of live in a world where everyone's wanting to be Stephen A. Smith or Max Kellerman, and that's gone right over your head. Everyone wants to come out with their first takes and like get their take out there before anyone and just say whatever kind of nonsense. But I think we kind of need to cool the brakes with that.
People are too concerned with what's going on behind the curtain rather than what's in front of them on the screen.
Too concerned with what they can't see rather than what they are seeing.
And that is a story being told with the Revival that's been going on way before these reports came out.
Whether you like the story or not is a different matter. Like, we're all things like this are subjective, and we all have different opinions. But ultimately, I'm just glad that they actually got the titles. Yep.
And I still firmly believe that they're one of the best tag teams in the world, because they are a tag team for tag team's sake. It's not just two people put together and they can do some good moves. These guys can do good moves together. They can cut the ring off. They're proper tacticians. And I think only really good tag teams are usually heels, because they're equalisers, they're neutralisers, and it's a joy to watch. We've had the grizzled young veterans on NXT UK put on clinics in their tournament and the match that they won the tag titles, so I'd love to see more teams like that. Maybe not too many, because you have got the Bar, you've got Revival, and you've got Undisputed Era, so there's probably enough. You've got some in each brand that employ that strategy. So because of that, even if they are heels, I'll be rooting for the Revival all the way.
I think their talent is and how great they are is why we kind of root for them. Bottom line.
Well, sticking with tag teams, it's further down the list, but we'll discuss the Usos versus the Miz Man shit that's going on just now. I couldn't care less. I really couldn't.
I can, because the Miz is involved and the Usos are involved. The Usos being the best tag team in the WWE in my mind. Right. So, I think I said before that I think it is going to be the Miz versus Shane at WrestleMania. And it's just a case of now, when do they drop the titles? I really want to say that Usos win.
Okay.
I really do. I think the way I could see that, say the Usos win, Shane and Miz maybe get the rematch on a SmackDown or the next pay-per-view. That's only a few weeks away as well, I think. At which point the Miz turns on Shane at that point.
So they turn... Right. I follow you. So do you think they'll retain?
Sorry?
You think they'll retain?
I don't know. Do you know what? I'm going to go with the Usos.
Okay. See, it's one of those ones. The Miz versus Shane story seems to be hinted at anyway, because they're all best pals just now. By the way, this is the 2-year anniversary of the
Yeah, I know. I was going to bring that up as well. I saw it on Twitter.
Festival of Friendship.
Yep.
A heartbreaking time. What is actually more sad is the death of Puerto Rican Pedro Morales. And was it yesterday or the day before?
I think it was yesterday.
One of the early beasts of WWF. I think he held the world title for well over 1,000 days, which is crazy when you think about it now.
3 years.
Nonsense. See, with The Miz and Shane, that looks like the story's going to happen. But it's still a long way till WrestleMania. So are they going to be able to carry a feud between them over 7 weeks?
That's why I went with the Usos to win, and then a rematch to take place either at a SmackDown a few weeks down the line or at the next pay-per-view, because there's another pay-per-view after this one, is there not? I'm sure there was 2 between the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania.
Yeah, we've got Fastlane.
So the rematch can take place there or the week before or after Fastlane, where you can maybe have The Miz turning on Shane, and then you've still got about 3 weeks or so to build towards WrestleMania.
Aye.
That's why I've picked the Usos. Like, we could do it the other way around, like, you know, like the Usos get a rematch, or there's some sort of dodgy finish on Sunday and they get a rematch, and that's when the Miz turns on Shane.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to go with the Usos.
It's just, I've had enough of Shane McMahon being used as a draw for WrestleMania. I don't think he actually really does bolster the credibility or star power of his opponents, because The Miz doesn't need star power. He's got his own reality show. Him and Maurice are doing well for themselves. I don't like the direction that The Miz has went since this thing, because he was a pretty cutthroat individual beforehand, and then all of a sudden he's pandering to Shane McMahon with daddy issues. It doesn't ring true to me, so I just can't really get behind it at all.
This is why I think they're thinking they've went this route, and then they can get like kind of monstrous heat on The Miz once he turns on Shane. Like, I don't need to see Shane anymore either, but I've just kind of come to accept he's going to have some sort of role at WrestleMania. Doesn't necessarily mean I enjoy it. I just kind of accept that we're going to get 2 or 3 sort of part-timers appearing or whatever, so there's nothing really I can do to change that. I just accept it, what it is at this moment in time. Doesn't, like I say, it doesn't mean I enjoy it, but to be honest, it's not a match that I think will be that good anyway, so
no.
You know, I think for me it's just kind of, if and when they lose the titles, I'm hoping it is to someone like the Usos.
And just a reminder to all our listeners that Sanity still exists as well. It would be nice if they made decent use of the tag division now and again, instead of making up new ones. Here's looking at you, Rusev and Nakamura. Like, the Raw tag team gets a lot of flack, but there's a lot of shit stuff going on in SmackDown as well with the tag team divisions.
I think the reason why SmackDown kind of gets overlooked in that sense is that they have the Usos in a bar in a New Day. And I think people kind of, because they're so top heavy, I think people kind of like, not so much don't pay attention, but aren't as like outraged as it would be if it was something like this was happening over on Raw.
Mm-hmm. Just probably because Raw gets a lot of flack anyway, so it's easy to hate on the Raw tag scene, which isn't great. I'm not going to deny that, but be realistic and realise that SmackDown's not that great either. Right, so Finn Balor versus Lio Rush and Bobby Lashley in a handicap match, which is still for the IC title. Interesting stipulation, this one. And I'd put in the Social Suplex prediction sheet, spoilers for one and all. Usually, when it's a handicap match, not usually, but a significant amount of the time, handicap matches favour the handicapped wrestler. And something tells me that Finn will walk away as the IC champion on Sunday.
I agree.
Okay.
And it's likely he maybe pins Leo Rush.
Right.
But
Never
I
thought
saw
of
something, and I don't know if it was put in any of our groups that we were in, but I definitely saw it on Twitter. Again, just a report. We don't deal in reports and rumours. But
It's a what?
this one said Finn would lose to Bobby Lashley and ultimately move to 205.
Finn Balor to 205.
Yes.
When?
It didn't say, it just says after the match with Bobby Lashley, or the feud with Bobby Lashley.
Well, that makes my Wednesday mornings that much better.
Again, I don't know if there's any kind of truth to that, but I'm going Finn anyway to win, and he'll probably beat Leo Rush, pin Leo Rush, and it'll continue the Bobby Lashley feud, maybe through to WrestleMania.
Maybe. There are a lot of people that are stagnant in the mid-card on Raw at the moment, because you've got Braun Strowman, Baron Corbin, Drew McIntyre,
Oh, what are they doing with Drew?
Bobby Lashley, Finn Balor, Leo Rush. Could this be the mid-card ladder match at WrestleMania?
I'm not sure.
Will they have one?
You know, I have first thing, number one, I think Finn needs to win the IC title, right? Because he came off the defeat against Brock, but his stock went up, and you kind of want to continue that momentum.
Mm-hmm,
you don't want to
capitalise
derail
on
it. If you derail it, it's just too stupid. I'm like Bobby Lashley with the heel, and when he got together with Leo Rush, it was a nice new thing, and it was good. But I would still put the title on Finn. And I just mentioned Drew McIntyre saying, what are they doing with him? I think they're going to lead to Seth versus Drew McIntyre at SummerSlam for the title.
Okay.
With Drew going over.
I can see that. I would like to see that as well. With the reason I'm going for Finn as well, apart from just the whole stipulation, I think Finn he does a lot of matches on Raw. He's used regularly. So someone like him as a champion, you've got that workhorse Intercontinental Champion again. And I think a bit of goodwill for the fans would be good going into WrestleMania, because there's going to be a lot of heat flung about the place, which will continue in one of my later on picks. So Finn, if he does the odd open challenge for the next few weeks, if he does win on Sunday, and then that results in people lining up wanting shots. Hey, Mr. Owens is coming back. He's not very good at bowling, but he's good at wrestling.
Back in a month.
Mm-hmm. It's quite late in the day to consider a WrestleMania programme for him, but Finn and Kevin Owens had some good matches in NXT, so I wouldn't be...
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Aye. I think that would be good.
You can end the Bobby Lashley feud at the next pay-per-view at Fastlane.
End it quickly, aye.
Then you can have KO come back.
Yep. So we're both going for a Finn win. We've both got the Usos as well. Next up,
did you pick the Usos?
I did. I
thought you went Miz and Shane.
I'll be picking pressing the skip button probably for that one. Promptly deleted. Next up is another match which will be promptly skipped, is the Braun Strowman versus Baron Corbin match. You would think that Baron Corbin would lose this one quite easily, but February or March, can't remember exactly when, February pay-per-views are not kind to Mr. Strowman. With that in mind, I think we're going to see a Corbin win. It will probably be a cheap victory, but he'll win regardless.
I'm going Braun.
Okay.
I made my feelings clear about Baron Corbin a while back.
You did.
I feel like this feud ended, did it not?
I know, it's highly pointless, this match.
It really is. And you know what? That's an indictment on Braun. I feel like this is telling us what they think of him.
Aye.
And I feel what we've been told about Braun so far is, yes, we like it, you're a big monster that can throw things around, but ultimately you'll never be the guy, you'll never be the number one guy. And we've been told that for quite a while now, when you go look at his feuds and his matches, etc., that they just don't have the faith in him to be that guy for him.
Yep.
Whether it's because of his lack of, say, personality, or his promo, or the lack of being able to have diverse his wrestling matches, being able to do different things, but he is who he is, and what he can do in matches is entertaining. But I do feel like, especially now this last year, they've told us, look, Vince McMahon is telling us that you're a nice guy to have around, you're different, but we don't have faith in you to be our number one guy.
Yep, I had written a couple of weeks ago. I joined a Lords of Pain columns forum competition, and the first thing I wrote about was Baron Corbin's repeated failures, and it was a purely kayfabe column. But you are right. I don't really think Vince and co really trust him to be the top guy in the company.
Whose failures did you write about?
Braun Strowman's.
What if I said Baron?
I may have, but he is a general failure anyway.
Yep.
No,
it all started after Cena screwed him.
Oh, fancy that, eh? So the Strowman thing I wrote, it was basically how he's just bullheaded, stubborn, doesn't change tactics, doesn't take into account the changing environment that he's in, but at the end of the day, it's Vince that's making him appear like that, so he doesn't see much in him. I think he sees more worth in Baron Corbin as a heat magnet, to be honest with you. So I think Corbin will have a cheap win here, but you're going for Braun Strowman.
Yep.
Okie doke. What other lesser matches have we got in the card? Right, okay, so we have Akira Tozawa versus Buddy Murphy for the Cruiserweight Championship. Tozawa was in a fatal 4-way elimination match and became the victor in that last week. Excellent match. And this week, now I totally understand that we're coming up to WrestleMania season. There aren't many babyface, like natural heroes with regards to on 205 Live now that Ali's away. He's definitely left a void there. So I can't see Murphy losing, and I will pick Murphy. But Tozawa said something on Tuesday night when they were having their contract signing. He said the king of the cruiserweights thought that he could win, but I beat him. I quite liked the wee nod to Neville without mentioning his name. That was funny. And Tozawa's been booked very strongly the last few weeks, so there's a small part of me that thinks maybe there's going to be a title change here, because Tozawa did the unthinkable and beat Neville clean. Could he do the same to Murphy? Would you entertain that notion at all?
No.
Fair enough.
Buddy Murphy wins.
Okay.
Because I think he'll lose it at WrestleMania.
To who? Finn Balor?
I was actually going to say that.
Chad Gable?
Honestly, I don't know who. I honestly don't know who at this point.
Well, mostly it's very much babyface versus heel when it comes to these matches. The Cruiser title matches. So when you've got a heel in charge of a brand that is dominated by bad guys, it's hard to have a rolling roster, like a rotating door of babyface challengers. So part of me thinks maybe they will pull the trigger with Tozawa, but if they don't, there aren't many left. You've got Noam Dar, who lost in a brutal match that he had with Tony Nese. Well worth checking out if you want to see some violence. So Dar's stock has fallen in Maverick's eyes. Maverick is very much a wins and losses matters kind of guy. So I can't see Dar being the guy. I don't know, maybe Tony Nese, but he's a bad guy. Humberto Carrillo, he seems to be getting a push, but at the same time, he's going to be involved in a program with Drew Gulak. It's a tough one to call who they're going to go ahead with. So maybe there is someone else that's going to come over.
Yeah, because you thought they were probably leading to Hideo Itami. Obviously,
he's off,
apparently. Yep. So I just don't think he loses on Sunday.
No,
he's too dominant of a champion.
See, when he was doing that contract signing, if I was Maverick, I would make him step on the scales again, because he looked as if he was holding some water. Honestly, he was busting out his T-shirt. Get that man weighed, get him disqualified, and do another tournament.
So we both went with Buddy Murphy.
Right. What's next? Ronda Rousey versus Ruby Riott. 2 double R people here. In case you cared, why don't we stick Roman Reigns in there for a triple threat?
Oh, why not?
Poor Ruby Riott. I mean,
it's just an afterthought.
See, when you think about it, they really actually shouldn't have done this match at all.
But you kind of need... See, this is what I'm saying. Like, the winner of the Rumble and someone who's like a kind of dominant kind of type champion, and you knew from the moment the Rumbles went, certainly the women's and obviously the men's as well, with Brock being part-time, you knew it was going to... Ronda was going to hold it until WrestleMania, and this is the kind of conundrum and problem you have between Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. And that's why when it comes to the pay-per-view in between it, I don't normally care too much in terms of a build and etc. Because for me it's just let's just see if they have a good solid match, so if we can have a good match or not, because you kind of know the outcome, because you're kind of just waiting to get to the point where you can start building to WrestleMania. And this is just the same, so I'm just kind of hoping for a good fun match. The outcome is inevitable, but
of course,
just I'm hoping for a good match. I think because you kind of need to. You can't have the build to WrestleMania lasting for 12 weeks, but there has been no build whatsoever to this match.
Nope. Ronda Rousey said on Twitter that she found out about the match on Twitter, or that the match was at least announced on Twitter. So
it was, I think it was, wasn't it?
It's just, obviously it will be used as a tool because Charlotte's going to be ringside for this one. She'll obviously have a part to play in the match, but everyone, Becky, Ronda, Charlotte, Vince, all basically accepted, even Triple H and Stephanie, that Ronda Rousey will be in the Raw Women's title match at WrestleMania. So Ruby Riott must have been backstage thinking, "Oh, thanks very flicking much, guys."
The outcome is inevitable. You just kind of hope it's going to be a good match, like I said. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Ronda Rousey gets to win.
Remember back in the days, the No Way Out days, everything was still very much up in the air, and the February pay-per-view was still excellent. So
here's the thing, I was going to mention this during the SmackDown's World title match. Mm-hmm. I don't have the stat in front of me, and I'm sure someone might come along and say, no, what you said is actually wrong, but it just doesn't feel like there's many title changes between Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. I know Bray Wyatt done it a couple of years ago. 2 years ago, was it? You
mean world title?
Yeah. Like, it just feels like there hasn't been many, but again, it might come out, someone might come out with a statistic and say, no, look, there's actually been X amount, and I didn't realise, but that's just a feeling you get, an impression that you get, that you're not going to see a title change really between the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. And that's why I think, like I say, you're always in this kind of weird place that you're building for a match that almost feels inevitable, the outcome, because you kind of just want to get to the point where you can start promoting and focusing on the WrestleMania matches.
There must have been one before then, but the last one I can remember is No Way Out 2001, where The Rock beat Kurt Angle.
There probably was, but would you be surprised if it wasn't?
No.
So...
It's a shame because, I mean, No Way Out went on a tear for a good few years. 2000, 2001, 2002. Excellent. Yeah, well, Eddie Guerrero, Brock Lesnar.
That's right.
So there have been, and there might have been one or two more, but I can't remember any more off the top of my head.
I think the fact that we're struggling to think about it shows you there hasn't been many.
Aye.
But I think in putting a title on someone else isn't a bad thing. Like, for instance, you're not going to take the title off Ronda, and you're not going to take it off Brock. But when Bray Wyatt won a title, like, there was such an energy and a buzz about it, and then all of a sudden, everyone thought, "Oh my goodness, we could potentially get Bray Wyatt versus Luke Harper."
Yeah.
And who the hell would have thought that 3 or 4 weeks before Bray won the title? And it was a match that everybody was really looking forward to. I think it's more so the fact that Luke Harper was really over at that point.
Stupidly.
And then he had that great match with Randy Orton as well.
Oh, that's right. That was excellent.
Oh, sorry, they're going to turn it into a triple threat match with Randy, Bray, and Luke Harper. So, like, sometimes you get those kind of moments, but you just don't get that feeling at all this year.
No. There's just one thing. We've got the next match up here where it's, I wouldn't say a foregone conclusion, but you could kind of guess who it will be. So you've got the Raw Women's Tag Team, the Women's Tag Team title match, Chamber.
So, yeah, on you go, sir. I was wanting to end it with this, but let's go with it.
Right, well, we'll do the men's chamber first then.
That's your choice, up to you, right?
We'll do the men's chamber. I'll obviously need to change what I had here for Ali and change that to Kofi Kingston. Did you catch the gauntlet match?
Yes.
It was very good.
That's kind of selling it short. It was more than very good. Unbelievable. Who was it? Put out Jeff, Samoa Joe, and
Daniel Bryan.
Unreal.
It was good. The very cynical cynic in me thinks that that was the exact same thing they would have done for Ali.
I think so as well.
Aye.
But I mean, that's like how much shows you how much faith and trust they've got in Kofi as well. Like, we're not going to deviate from this. We're actually going to make you look unbelievably strong going into WrestleMania. We're going to kind of give everyone a nice gentle reminder just how great of a singles wrestler you actually are. So
I really like these gauntlet matches that they do before Chambers, because the 6 or so competitors, they've all been butting heads for weeks beforehand, and there's a really good story that's told throughout the match. There's a usual last night it was a shock defeat of Daniel Bryan in the first round. Kingston then went on to get a quick win over Joe. Joe took Kingston out with the Coquina clutch. Then AJ came down and said, "Listen, man, it's okay, it's fine, you've done enough. Just basically lay down in an opinion." Kofi was saying, "No, I've been waiting 11 years for this, I'm not backing down, fight me." I thought that was excellent. And then RKO right at the end. that was top notch, I have to say. I mean, I'm critical.
I must admit, as much as we don't like Randy Orton, but there really isn't. There's very few or pretty sights in wrestling when you literally see an RKO, like, actually out of nowhere.
I will hold my hands up. He's been used very well the last few months.
When he hit Joe a couple of weeks ago with RKO, literally out of nowhere.
Before Royal Rumble. Yep, that was fantastic. and the stuff with Mustafa Ali as well, just destroyed him, but still made Ali look great in the process. And just this week,
motivated Randy Orton is virtually untouchable.
So I'll hold my hands up. I'm enjoying what. I'm sorry, Kyle. I know you want Randy Orton to go away, but he has been used well. He's that thing. It's the thing that obviously it was a wee bit obvious what was happening towards the end of that match, but he seems to always be someone that you forget about to the last moment, and that ties in with his RKO out of nowhere. So I really don't see him winning. I mean, it's going to be Daniel Bryan that's winning this one.
I agree, and it ties back in with kind of my point I was saying, how many title changes do you really see?
Mm-hmm.
But just to make it kind of fun, if it's not Daniel Bryan, who is it?
Oh. Right, it won't be AJ.
Mm-hmm.
I hope.
What the hell does he do at WrestleMania?
Orton?
AJ Orton? I could get on board with that.
I could
get on board with that.
It's high profile enough for both men.
I don't know if it's happened.
It's happened on that TV. See when AJ kept being screwed by Shane McMahon?
That's right.
They had a decent match there. So,
but the dynamics will be different this time around.
I think that would be high profile enough for me to accept, and with me taking joy out of Randy Orton at the moment, I'd be all for that. They're both MAGA guys, so they'll get a strong showing. They can come down with their Gillette razors and shave each other. I don't know. I've not really got an answer for you. The only one I can think of would be Kofi Kingston.
So I don't think it'll be Kofi. It's not going to be Jeff. Definitely not.
There's Joe. Joe's a very strong possibility.
Joe's the one.
But he takes more L's than...
He does, but he comes out the fucking following week and comes out with an absolute hot ass fuck promo, and all of a sudden you're believing in him again.
This one's for our UK listeners. Samoa Joe has more L's than a town in Wales.
Oh God, have we just offended the Welsh? No, I'm saying if it's not Daniel Bryan, it'll be Joe, but it's going to be Daniel Bryan. But if I had to pick someone, not him, it's definitely Joe.
Okay.
And I guess it leads us to say, what the hell is Daniel Bryan doing at WrestleMania?
See, I'm not wanting to go down that road because I really can't see past the Daniel Bryan retaining.
No, that's what I'm saying, Daniel Bryan retaining, so who's he facing at WrestleMania? I can see him still going against Mustafa Ali. But Daniel Bryan retains.
Aye.
The moment's come too soon for Ali.
I would imagine he did it in 18 seconds.
Although I can still maybe see them doing Ray and Daniel Bryan.
I'd rather see Ray and Andrade in a blood feud match.
I'd rather see them wrestle just for the full 6 hours of WrestleMania. No stoppages, no nothing. 6 straight hours of wrestling. Just
consecutive Canadian destroyers all night long. Have you seen those videos of the likes of Kota Ibushi receive Canadian destroyers by dolls? So just constant repeat Canadian destroyer all night long between the two of them. I'd be up for that.
The Daniel Bryan thing, I genuinely don't know who he can face at WrestleMania.
I mean, Ali, I know he's been destroyed, but Vince, Ali said in his interview with Jericho, he said it on Lillian Garcia and Jericho's podcasts, that Vince has said to him, you can emit really good sympathy and empathy from the crowd. That is a rare thing to have in wrestling these days. So, obviously, seeing Ali get destroyed left, right and centre last week, they have faith that he'll get the sympathy. He's injured at the moment, which is very, very unfortunate. But, I mean, it is not out with the realms of possibility that Ali is the chosen one. The chosen one is what Ali...
I can't disagree.
Is Ali, does that not translate as the chosen one? Or the exultant one?
Mm-hmm.
Well, there you go.
I can't disagree.
Oh, I'm getting excited.
I just don't think he'll win it.
It won't. He'll get destroyed in 18 seconds, but he'll. That's a big spotlight to have, considering he was playing and wrestling in front of quarter full crowds in 205 Live once before.
And you know what it is? You know why he's able to get empathy and sympathy, etc. from the crowd? I think a lot of us just realise that he literally doesn't have a bad bone in his body.
Nope.
Like, and I know not everyone's on Twitter or whatever, or any kind of social media, but I've said it before. See some of the stuff that he does on social media in the way he speaks and just the way interaction with people. It's like, how the hell can you not like that guy? You know, so
he has the quintessential babyface.
He really is,
and that's what's missing. That's what's lacking in today's product. Just give that man the belt right now.
And the thing he mentioned as well in an interview with Jericho was when you look at him, right? I'm not saying it's the first thing that comes to your mind, but when you look at him, someone like him, and you look at someone like me, it's like, oh, right, well, it's a Muslim. But he's like, I kind of want to change the perception of what people think a Muslim is supposed to be like.
Yep.
And he has done that, and the fact that you've got, and I don't want to sound, I don't want it to come across wrong, but you have someone who is a Muslim who could be the face of that brand, and you get to show everyone, like the world, like, look at this guy, like, this is really what that religion preaches, kind of thing. So, oh fuck it, he's going to win the title, isn't he? But honestly, I don't see many threat. I don't see many. I see Mustafa Ali and I see Rey Mysterio. I don't see many others.
Answer me this. I don't want to go down this road. I just want you to answer yes or no. What are the relations? Because May is round the corner. What are the relations like between Pakistan and Saudi Arabia?
I'll put it like this: Saudi Arabia aren't very well liked between other Arab countries and other countries within its region.
So if Ali rocks up with the hemp belt and Pakistani flag colours on his tights, will that go down well in Saudi Arabia?
Well, you had Davari turning up with a Iran flag and he made out alive. That's worse.
Well, okay.
Like,
I'm just thinking of the political landscape there, so that might change my answer. Like,
Iran and Saudi Arabia, like, when I say they hate one another, I mean they truly loathe one another.
Right.
They would probably love nothing more to have the ability to wipe each other off the face of the map. Wipe each other off the face of the planet.
Fucking hell.
Like, they do not like one another at all. Mm-hmm. At all. So if Davari can come down and somehow, God knows how that got approved and how he wasn't killed, you can pretty much do anything else then.
Aye. Okay, right, I'm going to stick with it. Let's get on the bandwagon of Ali winning at Mania. In the main event. But Daniel Bryan retains.
Yeah, Daniel Bryan retains.
Right, so...
sorry, I know that match was to determine who came in last.
Uh-huh.
But I know the Raw women, they've decided who's coming in first. There wasn't any kind of stipulation for this match, was it? It's just going to be random, isn't it?
Yeah,
random.
The Raw women's one?
No, the SmackDown men's title. It was just to determine who was coming in last, wasn't it?
Yes. RKO will be last, I think. Yep. Right, so the final match is the Raw, I keep saying Raw, the Women's Tag Team title match in a chamber. You've got Naomi and Carmella, the Boss and Hug connection. As far as I'm aware, Sasha has been cleared of her knock that she took on Monday night. You have the Iconics, you have Nia Jax and the Killer's daughter, Tamina. You've got either this was a Freudian slip or a typo, but I have written Rot Squad. I'll change that to the Riot Squad. And you've got Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. Obviously there are a lot of moving parts in this one. Many contenders. It's hard to... I mean, it's one of those ones where you just close your eyes and point. But I think they'll be looking for a bit of heat going into WrestleMania for a babyface tag team with the W at WrestleMania. So I'm going to go for Nia Jax and Tamina Snuka for the titles. You're disgusted.
The exact same thinking as me.
Is it?
I thought you were going to go Sasha and Bayley.
No, they'll turn on each other and they'll finally have that match 14 months later than planned.
Sasha and Bayley need to kind of control the entire match for us to be a cohesive and somewhat solid match. They really need to be the centrepiece of this match, along with Sonya Deville and Naomi. But mainly I'm talking about just exclusively teams. They have to control or be involved in a lot of things that are going on in the match for it to be a good watch, I think. I am also going Nia Jax and Tamina. I don't think it should be. You know that old saying, you only get one chance to make a good first impression. This is the first ever women's tag titles.
Well,
I feel like...
New era, anyway.
Well, I feel like you kind of want to...
Celebrate it with a good...
Celebrate it and actually show people, like, we're giving it to credible people. And I'm not saying Nia and Tamina aren't, but they're just not on the same level as Sasha and Bayley. And I feel like if you really want people to take it serious and elevate those, you give it to them too.
Mm-hmm.
But I have the exact same thinking as you. They're going to give it to Nia and Tamina. I think that's, for me, I wouldn't say it's clear cut and pretty obvious, but I'd be pretty surprised if they didn't win the titles.
I would be surprised as well. And it would be great to see Sasha and Bayley win, but I think they want to save that. Well, I don't think they do that. I think it would be good to save something like that for WrestleMania. So I think they'll do Boss and Hug versus Nia and Tamina at WrestleMania, but Nia and Tamina will be the winners come Sunday to a chorus of crickets.
I thought we were going to have different opinions on this. That's why I wanted to keep it last.
Alright, no. I've just looked up and down. We've picked the same for absolutely everything. Even our backup choices for Samoa Joe.
Let's see, that was my plan. I told you after a Rumble, I'm just going to make sure I pick everyone the same as you, but...
yes, so you were. That's shitty. That's not fair.
But I did. I've picked some of them first, though.
Mm-hmm. Just so you all know, each of the chamber matches, the winner, if they get the right pick, they'll get 3 points added to their overall tally.
If you're keeping score, that is, folks.
Because sometimes I'm not even keeping score. So that's all the matches then, is that right?
Yep.
Okay. Anything else you want to discuss before we do the quiz?
I don't think so.
Excellent. Let's wrap things up nice and early tonight then.
Yep, we'll get done before 10 o'clock for a change.
Well, we'll see how you do with the questions. Here comes the quiz.
It's fucking quiz time with Ricky and Clive and friends. A fucking WWE quiz.
Okay, so this week it is, as you would expect, an Elimination Chamber themed quiz. I have 10 questions, varying in difficulty. Some of them are horrible, sorry. Some of them should be quite easy. Number 1. Who won the third ever Elimination Chamber match?
Can you say that again?
Who won the third ever Elimination Chamber match?
Ooh.
Would you like to know when it was?
Yes.
It was Elimination Chamber 2000. No, sorry. It was New Year's Revolution 2005.
2005. Was it Mr. CEO?
It was, yes. Triple H himself. Number 2. In 2010, the Heartbreak Kid cost The Undertaker the Chamber match, forcing Taker to accept HBK's streak versus career match at Mania. Who ended up winning that Chamber match?
Jericho.
Correct, well done. The bold one himself, Mr. Jericho. Number 3, what pinfall rule?
Pinfall.
What pinfall rule was brought into effect in 2012? Pinfall and submission rule.
Damn it now. Can pins take place outside the ring? Pinfalls and submissions can only take place inside the ring now.
Oh, well done. Fantastic.
I've had to wrap my mind. I couldn't remember the last time a pinfall or submission took place outside it.
I can't even remember them happening outside it in the first place. But there must have been for them to bring that rule into play. So 3 out of 3 so far. Number 4. Who had the most eliminations in one chamber match?
Oh, is it not Braun?
Oh, 4 out of 4. Number 5. Who has been in the most chamber matches?
Oof.
I can't remember exactly. It's either 8 or 10.
Oof. This needs to be an absolute guess. So they're going to be, I will say, between Cena, Triple H, and Jericho.
Right.
Or maybe can't think.
Pick one.
Jericho.
5 out of 5. Could it be a clean sweep tonight?
How many? 8?
8, I think. Who has won the most chamber matches? Question number 6. Who has won the most chamber matches?
I don't feel like it'll be Jericho because there have been 3 times you've just been him in the quiz.
I know. Can you tell that I read his book this week and I've been thinking a lot about him?
The Game.
Oh, my word. This is unbelievable. You're like Kofi Kingston last night. In the first chamber match, Triple H was legitimately injured when his throat was partially crushed. How did this happen? Oh no.
Oh man, it was a Survivor Series. Am I right in saying that's a Survivor Series, wasn't it?
Yep. Probably one of the better ones.
Oh God.
I feel bad for you now.
I don't think I know this at all.
Oh no. Do you want a clue?
No,
You don't want a clue?
because I know a bit of it.
See if you give me the bit that you know, I'll decide whether you get the point or not.
I can't remember if he was on top of the pod or someone was on top of it, but it was because RVD botched the frog splash.
That's it?
But I don't know who. I can't remember. Was RVD on top of the pod and done it?
Yep. Oh. You might falter now. 7 out of, even if you get 7 out of 10, that's fantastic. Number 8. What was unique and for the first time ever about the 2018 Chamber match?
Which one?
Sorry, the men's.
What was unique? Was it? It was to determine a number one contender.
No. Think of who was involved. Count them off in your head.
Oh my God, who the hell was involved? Roman, Braun. Who the hell was involved?
It might be easier to remember the gauntlet match as well that preceded it.
Right, so I know that now, but damn it, I was going to say it was the first time they've all been in an Elimination Chamber match, but that's not that. Because Cena was in it. That's probably the toughest one so far.
So far, yep.
Or is it going to get worse?
Maybe. I might make it. See if you get the next two, I'll make the last one easy.
What was unique?
Right, so you had Cena.
You had Cena, Elias, Miz, Roman, Seth, and Braun.
Cena, Elias, Roman, Seth,
Yep.
Braun,
And Miz. Am I missing someone else out? Oh! Was it because it was Finn was the 7th?
Yes. Number
So
that's the answer, because it was 7 people. Number 9. How many chamber matches has Kevin Owens been in?
Has he even been in one? Oh, I want to say he's not been in one, but
Is that your answer?
I think so. I can't recall any he's been in.
I'll take that as a correct answer. I was trying to throw you off point towards the end. Now this last one, I doubt you'll get it, so I'm going to change it.
No, just what is it?
Right. Ryback won the vacated IC title match in Elimination Chamber 2015. Can you name the other 5 wrestlers in that match? But see if you can, I'll take 2 from you. 2.
Dolph.
Correct.
How many did you say? There was 5, 6, or was it normal 6 with Dolph?
Mm-hmm.
Truth.
Uh-huh.
Sheamus.
Yes. You've done enough.
No. I know the other one, but I just can't think of the 5th.
Hey, what's the other one?
I wanted to keep him to the end.
Why?
Sexual chocolate.
Marcus Dry Henry.
Yep.
And the last one?
The man who I thought had one of the greatest gimmicks I have ever seen in my life. I'm afraid, folks, I have some bad news for you. Ricky's ego just got bigger.
Well, I'm afraid I've got some bad news for you because you're wrong.
That was fucking Barrett, wasn't it?
I'm kidding on. I just felt like saying that.
I think I was wrong there.
Ladies and gentlemen, this may be the first time in Ricky and Clive's 2-year history that you have had a clean sweep with 10 questions correct.
Thank you.
That was spell bounding.
I would just like to take this moment to thank my mother and father
for raising such a legend.
And for everyone else that supported me, my co-host, thank you.
I shouldn't be, but I'm really happy for you right now.
It's a shame we don't actually get anything out of it.
I know. Just pride.
Yep.
Anything you want to say apart from put yourself over before we close?
No, folks, we've got merch, so please go buy it.
Yep. I'll put a link in the show notes for you to get a Ricky and Clive T-shirt. You've also got, so far, you've got One Nation Radio, Keeping It Strong style, and the Social Suplex logo that you see on the Podbean website. They're up so far. I'm not sure if there are any more. With regards to the podcasts, let's see if I do well remembering them. I haven't practiced my rap this week, so Rich will just need to wait.
Aye. That eagerly awaited rap battle.
He's got One Nation Radio, Keeping It Strong style. Ourselves no longer have Outsider's Edge, but I'll give them a wee shout out anyway.
Pour a drink out for our fallen comrades.
Well, I can't pour a drink out because I might damage the electrical equipment.
Yeah, I wasn't going to throw it on the floor either. I just took a drink.
You've got Grown Men Watch This Shit. You've got All Things Elite. You have Omega Luke Wrestling, and you also have Wilfred Watches. I hope I didn't miss anyone.
Nope.
Check out the rest of the Social Suplex columns that are on socialsuplex.com and all the podcasts that go straight to your email if you subscribe. Give us a 5-star review on the podcast app of your choice, and we are at Ricky and Clive on Twitter. Powerslam.tv, put in the promo code Social Suplex for a free month where you can watch over 4,000 hours of independent wrestling. There aren't even 4,000 hours in a month. Think of that deal. Breaking news.
Oh, excellent.
There's talks about a certain tag team reforming and joining AEW.
Alright.
Matt Hardy was quite vocal on Twitter recently about Britt coming out of retirement, but he won't be wrestling for WWE. And he's hinted at a potential feud with the Bucks of Youth. The only reason I know that is because he put a tweet up saying, Elite, Elite, Elite. My God, you actually laughed.
That was the first time that new company's ever been mentioned on this podcast.
It has.
And we're not haters.
We're not haters, but we won't mention it much.
Partly because I barely have enough time to watch WWE programming, let alone having to watch other things as well.
Exactly. I've got enough on my plate. Right. Night, everyone. Enjoy Elimination Chamber, and we'll speak to you next week.
Take care, folks.
Thank you for listening to the Ricky and Clive Wrestling Podcast. We'll see you next time.